UFC 306 Noche took place at the Las Vegas Sphere at 4 a.m. South African time. We saw two new champions crowd with Merab Dvalishvili ragdolling Sugar Sean O'Malley and Valentina Shevchenko putting on an absolute clinic against Alexa Grasso. All this and more, this time on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, everybody, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. Speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me the reigning, defending, vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia. Brother Gaia,
What's up, my man? Good, bro. Good, excited. I'm happy for Merab.
Very happy for Merab and very happy to get into this with you guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, also with us today, we have the man who's undefeated as father. You might know him as Mr. Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, George Jetson. It's Jedi Night.
Hello, everybody.
Jedi Night. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be back for the recap. It was a fun card. I mean, the Sphere was insane. It was insane to see.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, special treat this afternoon. We have with us a new panelist. He's a new panelist, but an OG here at the CBS Reports. He's been here from the start. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the kid, Nazim Babu. What's going on?
Lekker, man. Lekker.
Oh, hey, welcome back, gents. Welcome back. We are about to jump into Noche. Overall,
Here we go.
Brother Gaia, how was this card for you? What would you say? Out of 10?
Out of 10, because it's different and it's something we haven't seen before, I'll probably give it a solid 8. And that's only because the fights were actually really good.
Baba, you agree with that?
In terms of the spectacle, I don't know, not too much about the day. I mean, we watched it, but I don't know. We were still in the day. We're watching fights more than we're watching the show. So I think the fights were still the overcasting team was still the fights rather than the video display.
Baba, is 8 a fair score for the card for you?
I would rate it a 6. I think like the fight card itself is a 6, and I think like the spectacle of it makes it like a 8. Like first time venue, all of the things.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I don't think any surprises came out of the card.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into it. Jedi, your thoughts?
No, I enjoyed it, bro. I will give it a solid 9.5 overall for the whole thing. I thought it was lekker. And I think it's the future it was like a peek into the future of what a fight event can be. Also, on the flip side, you have like the Apex, which is probably only holds like 50 people, which can also be quite intimate, you know what I mean? But I think it was very cool. I think it was a success also for the Mexican community and whatever. And I didn't like the ring girl so much. That's like the only negative critique I can give it. I think the ring girl's outfit was very cool, but no, they looked very cool. I think they looked very cool, but there was just some of them that didn't look like they do it often. They look like they hired a couple of Mexican girls to do it. But I mean, the outfits was dope.
Oh, there was one in the fall of the stairs. Yeah,
there's one almost fall. But anyway, boys, we're gonna get down to business here. We did see Merab Dvalishvili defeat Sugar Sean over 5 rounds by unanimous decision. Let me go to Babu. Babu, you said no surprises on the card. You didn't find this a surprising result?
Nah, not at all. I just thought he was gonna implement his game plan, which he did. And if you watch like previous fights of his, he didn't seem to gas too much in previous fights. So I just thought he would have done what he did. And seeing like most of the public's choice of Sugar, I was like, what? Why? I don't understand. I just don't get it.
He was the overwhelming bet. Well, not overwhelming, but a slight betting favorite at the beginning of the fight. Brother Guy, as far as the X's and O's
Yes.
here, what did you see?
Look again. I think the style of the fight. I think everyone knew because it wasn't difficult to kind of understand what both fighters were going to bring to the game. The thing that I found most interesting about the fight was Sugar Sean not fainting as much as he normally does, and not actually getting off. Like he couldn't fire. And I think Joe Rogan said it on broadcast was that Merab just couldn't stand still, so he was a consistently moving target, which ultimately made it very difficult for Sugar Sean to even plant his feet down to and throw a strike. You did see it towards around 4 and 5, which was my pick in the preview that Sugar Sean is probably going to get the knockout in round 4 or 5. I said round 4. And then you could see he was pushing to get the kill shot in round 4 and 5, but it almost felt like it was a bit desperate because he knew he was down so many rounds already up until that point. And even going into the 5th round, Sugar Sean was pushing the pace and only really started landing some damage to the last like 35 seconds of the fight. What I found really interesting was the scorecard. I think one of the judges actually gave one or two of the rounds to Sugar Sean, and I thought that was
He
weird.
gave 2 rounds to Sugar, yeah. 3 and
Yeah,
5, I think.
Yeah, that's absolutely bogus. I thought every single round Merab won. Sugar Sean only really hurt Merab in that 5th round with the deep kick, which was quite significant, by the way. Merab took a lot of damage to that. You could see he was like, oh my gosh. And you could tell he was running away for the last 35 seconds of that fight. But I mean, at that point, he was already 20 minutes in and he had already dominated the fight. He did exactly what Jed said he was going to do, what we all thought he was going to do. And Sugar Sean couldn't do anything about it. I think the only thing I felt that Sugar Sean maybe would have brought to the game on the ground was that he could submit people. Like I've seen him do it in jiu-jitsu competitions. But like I said, jiu-jitsu, invitational, and MMA grappling, that doesn't translate to one another. It doesn't actually carry over between the two disciplines. So Sugar Sean just didn't have any counter for the wrestling at all. And you could see it deplete him. Like he was depleted coming into round 4. He had his head down and you could take in massive breaths. And I was like, this guy is... But I grinded him out. You could see he took away. He was getting so frustrated in his face. Sugar Sean, you could see he was upset. Actually do anything. He was like, what the fuck do I do? And Merab was smiling ear to ear. He was actually teasing the fight. He thought about how he was playing on, teasing the referee. I was like, Merab is taking this whole thing for a piss right now. And that just shows his dominance as a wrestler and also his weapon, which is his gas tank. And yeah, like Babu was saying, it was no surprise in terms of if you look at it that way. The big surprise was Sugar Sean looked like he couldn't get anything going forward. And I think that was a big shock for me.
I just think his movement was so awkward and strange and unpredictable that Sugar couldn't really get set to kind of get his feints going and get his game plan, implement his game plan. Jedi Knight, what are you saying here, bro?
Yeah, I agree, bro. Merab was obviously moving a lot and he was very elusive, you know what I mean? And making it like, waving his hands around and as Rasa kind of teasing referee and teasing what's that guy, Tim?
Walsh, yeah.
And you could see he was in his vibe, you know what I mean? He felt very dominant after the first round. The first round was obviously like a big question mark as to what is gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the most surprising thing was the timing of that guy's takedowns and when he chose to actually go in. You know what I mean? Because what it looked like it was he was kind of choosing when they're gonna fight, and if he doesn't want to fight, he just stayed away. You know what I mean? Sugar couldn't really, as you say, like catch him or have him stop so that they could fight. Very dominant, very strong. I think Sugar, for the most part, protected himself fairly well. Like although he was getting beat up, he still kind of made it so that he's not really taking so much damage. You know what I mean? Which was good. But so the first round, I think it was kind of even. But I can see how some people could give it to Sugar, and now some people can go with Merab. But after that, I think Merab won every single round except the 5th round. I think the 5th round, he just kind of, after he got deep kicked, he just kind of coasted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that was like towards the end of the 5th round. You know what I mean?
Team, I think he implemented. I think he implemented a solid game plan and he just controlled the fight. He chose when he wanted to fight, which was very cool to see. Does it warrant a rematch? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
yeah.
not. We're not gonna
A
have
quick
that
question,
discussion
boys.
here.
Do you
Shocking.
think this fight would have played out the same if it was at the Apex? Because the Apex has a smaller cage. So do you think like that would have benefited Sugar?
I think it would have definitely been a factor, but I don't know if it would
It
have
was-
necessarily changed the outcome of the
yes,
result.
yeah, I agree with both
Um,
AD here.
yeah,
Like, you
because
know
I mean,
why I
if it's a
say
smaller
why I do?
octagon, is it? Sorry, yeah, guy.
No, you can go. If it's a smaller
No, I
octagon,
was just gonna say, if there's a smaller octagon, there's of course less space for him to move around, so
move
easier
around.
to get a
Yes.
hold of, and yeah,
Mm.
might even have made it easier for Merab.
Merab, I was just about to say it might even made it because what's something that we have to also look at with Sugar Sean is that um there was almost no urgency to actually get off from the ground. He was attempting it, but it couldn't really do anything. It's almost like there was a lack of sort of what's the next step to move Merab off him. Even though he got back up to his feet twice in that 5 rounds, he did it twice. And stuffed a couple of other takedowns, but that was like half shots, like empty single legs. But when Merab did attempt and intend to actually get the groundwork going, O'Malley had absolutely no way of getting back up, and that's I think that's a big factor to look
It's
at.
also Merab knows what he's gonna try and do, and I think also Sugar knows if I try and do this guy's gonna jump on my back, or he's gonna, you know what I mean. So like,
Yeah,
I think he was also just trying not to get choked out to dominate it any worse than what he was.
yeah, what
so,
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Mhm.
he done as good as he could do, bruh, for a losing
Yeah.
fight.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was just very strange to see. But again, I think full credit to Merab, who just made it really difficult for Sean to get going on the night. So brother Gaia, do we finally now see Sandhagen versus O'Malley? Or do you have any other ideas for O'Malley
I'd
moving
love
forward?
to see
Man,
that. I think
Yeah.
not Usman, what's it, man? Umar.
Umar's
Umar
gonna
could,
probably fight Merab now, and then
Oh,
O'Malley's gonna
yes.
fight Sandhagen, I'm hoping.
Oh, you
Um,
saying O'Malley and
Yeah.
Sandhagen?
yes,
Yes, yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
That sounds good.
O'Malley
For
Sandhagen. There's
Peter
also
Yan,
Davison
bruh, he's
Figueiredo.
not scared.
I think
I'll probably
Davison
do Peter Yan.
Figueiredo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter Yan, Davison Figueiredo, and then Sandhagen. Or maybe even Figueiredo because we won his last. He actually hasn't lost in this division yet. So he might even get a better chance than what only Sandhagen would, because Sandhagen was lost his last fight against Umar. And I think it's no secret that the UFC want to make Umar fight against Merab. That's pretty sure. Even though Merab is campaigning for Figueiredo, Peter Yan also won his last fight. So you kind of want to put the ones who won against each other. So that'll be Peter Yan and Figueiredo, and then the ones who
Peter
obviously
Yan,
lost.
Figueiredo.
So O'Malley and Sandhagen might be the right call, AD.
I do like that. I do like the sound of that. Babu, any thoughts here regarding these two fighters?
nah, I
And
think
going
that would
forward?
have. I think that matchup of Magomedov against
Merab.
Dvalishvili would, yeah, I think it would play out like exceptionally well because like they both have like a similar skill set. I think Magomedov does have better hands from
Definitely.
especially like this fight. Like you saw, Merab didn't really have too much to offer like on the feet. I think he was just moving away and like managing distance in that way. So to see like Magomedov actually get a hold of him and then piece him up, like that should be something nice.
Yeah, I think again, yeah, do agree with that. Great fight, great fight. Boys, any final thoughts here before we keep it moving?
Yeah, I'm keen to see what's gonna happen next for the UFC's number one star in O'Malley. I want to see what they're gonna book him next for. And then also for Merab, dude, I just wish him a very long reign because I enjoy his character, I enjoy his style. I like the grind. It's quite fun. It's very fun to watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to the bantamweight for sure because it's a stacked division.
Yeah,
It's a stacked
absolutely
division.
stacked. I am a little bit disappointed though. I was kind of hoping that Sugar Sean would go on like a 20-fight streak and become the greatest combat sports
I
athlete
couldn't see
ever.
it.
Nah, just
Couldn't see it.
because of the way that you guys reacted to that. That's why I wanted it to happen. But anyway, guys, we'll keep it moving.
Nah, bro.
where we saw Valentina Shevchenko roll back the clock and put on an absolute clinic against baby girl Alexa Grasso. Sheer domination via wrestling. Yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but it was definitely well executed on Valentina's part. Jedi Knight, what did you see here, bro?
You're just a show well of determination and well thought out fighting game plan. I think Alexa is very disappointed, obviously, and she wanted more of a fight, but um, Valentina just showed the experience and the level. So, you know what I mean? She came in very well prepared, bro, and obviously walked away with the title again. So, hats off to her. I think, but they have to run it back, if I'm honest, to do it again.
Probably.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Valentina came to do what she said she was gonna, bro, and I'm very happy for her because at one point it looked like Alexa had a number, you know what I mean? Alexa had a number. But yeah, I look forward to seeing them go at it again.
Babu, from your perspective, bro, what did you see here?
Yo, I tend to disagree there. I don't want to watch that fight again, but I just I might be a bit biased towards Schevchenko because I am a fan.
Sorry.
So like I might be a bit biased towards her. I think like her skill set is very complete. I think she's a complete fighter on feet, on ground, in grappling. And I felt like Grasso was very one-dimensional as a boxer and like a grappling, like we saw, she really got ragdolled in a certain sense, and she just didn't know how to like really get any penetration into Schevchenko. So that's the only reason like I wouldn't want to see the fight again, because I think Valentina will just implement the same game plan, and I don't think there will be enough time for Grasso to really acquire all the tools to really deal with her.
You don't think that's mad, eh? Sorry, Eddie, you were gonna say something.
Brother guy, I was gonna bring you in next, bro. You seem like you have something to say.
Yeah. Look, personally, I thought it was a dope fight. I didn't think it was a boring fight at all. I wouldn't be upset if they would run this fight back. Just because the record of the fights doesn't almost forces that hand, being 1-1-1. It kind of makes sure, kind of forces them to actually run the fight back. But this is where I agree with Babu again. I do think if they run it back again, especially if it's a run back, it's gonna come very soon. I think Valentina beats her again. Because if I look back at all the fights, I know Jet said that maybe Alexa had a number, but Valentina just always just looked better in all the fights, even though she got caught in that first fight with that submission. In this one, I'm not sure if you noticed, but even in the striking department in this one, Valentina was winning in that department as well. She even outstruck Alexa on the feet, bro, which was absolutely mad. Considering I thought that Alexa was the better boxer. What I wanted Alexa to have done differently was maybe stay in the southpaw stance, especially from the beginning of the fight, because that's where she was actually more dominant and where she got most of her success in the first two fights is when she fought from the southpaw stance. She didn't do that in this fight. The first round she fought orthodox, got pieced up, and then they went down to wrestling. And we always knew that Shevchenko was the better grappler, right? You could see it in the previous fights as well. And then when Shevchenko, this is the big part for me, is when Alexa did switch to southpaw from round 3 onwards, it didn't actually change the course of the fight. It didn't help out in the striking, which then indicated to me that Valentina did do something about it. She did kind of find out some kind of remedy to not get caught, because she did get caught whenever Alexa did switch to a southpaw stance. Alexa didn't throw a pattern and combo, which was a left hook, right hook, left hook finish. She didn't throw it at all, which is also what caught me by surprise. And I think what Babu was saying is Alexa didn't throw in any kicks. She didn't show sort of any massive evolution to a game, whereas Valentina just looked like what the evolution wasn't. This is that she added more tools to her game. She just thought, okay, I'm actually going to really go in there and prove so that it's not going to be, there's going to be no denying the fact that she's going to be the victor in the fight, as opposed to the other two. And that by doing that, she utilized very aggressive wrestling, and she looked physically more stronger, dude. She looked like she had just a lot more power. She counted all the grappling exchanges. And even Alexa, biggest threat was submissions, but those are defensive submissions. She wasn't doing it from like, she was initiating the grappling and she got dominant position and then executed the guillotine. That came out of defensive positions. And Valentina countered that by just utilizing perfect escapes. And just like Eddie said, a clinic, for me, it was a 5-0, dude. Every single round she won. And if you look at the numbers as well, she outstruck her in every single round. I think only round 3, Alexa had more strikes and didn't really land on Valentina. So I just thought that was because she won it in that fashion. It kind of like proved what I was trying to say all along. Even in the other fights, I felt like Valentina is the better fighter, man. That Reneke choke in the first fight was just that moment. But after that, I thought Valentina proved to be the better fighter. But I do think the UFC is going to run it back again. Valentina did come out in the press conference saying she doesn't want to do the fight again. She felt like there should be someone new coming up. But I think the UFC is going to run this fight back. It just makes the most sense. And they can sell it, man. It's going to be a quadruple or a quadrilogy or something. It's going to be the first time ever that they can have a woman fight 4 times. So there's ways to sell it.
Yeah, definitely ways to sell it. And yeah, brother guy, I'm inclined to agree with you there. I thought also that Grasso's best kind of offense was a defensive jiu-jitsu. And yeah, on the night she was outclassed in every other department. So I get where Bob was coming from in terms of not wanting to see it again. And I would kind of be inclined to agree with that as well. I think it can't be disputed now that Shevchenko is the superior fighter. Even the draw was controversial, bro.
Yeah, very controversial.
She won that fight, bro. She won that fight. Let's be real. And you also said that in the first fight she just got caught. It was just a moment, a lapse of concentration when she got caught. So yeah, I think it's pretty conclusive who's the superior fighter is here, and I don't feel the need for them to run it back. But like you said, it is extremely marketable, so there's a good chance that we will see it again.
It would be a good fight for Valentina if Rose beats Erin Blanchfield. I think Rose Namajunas will put up a good fight against Valentina. That would be a good matchup.
Sure. But I think they're gonna give it to that big chickie, that French lady, Manon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she's next in line.
I'd rather see that fight. I'd rather see that fight. I'd rather see that fight. Manon versus Shevchenko.
Stand up fight. That's what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Hey, peace out, bro. I want to see the kicks again, bro.
Okay, so boys, any final thoughts here?
What makes me my final thought? What makes me feel like they will run it back again? Right, is that, and this is where I want to add on or almost challenge what Baba was saying about Alexa maybe not learning or evolving. 52 years old. Shevchenko's 36. You know what I mean? They're gonna get older. I think Alexa there's more room for her to actually grow, man. For Valentina, she just looked like she was more physically more imposing. Like she just looked like she was physically stronger, but she didn't add different tools to what she can already
come
do.
in a bit heavier, you could see.
Yeah, she just looked jacked.
She was a bit bigger,
but there was nothing different to what Valentina has done before. And for Alexa, I think there's room, man. There is something that she can add. She can add a few more things to her game, and I think she should add more things to it. And I think we will see that in the future, and that's what's making me inclined to see her stay in and around that number one contendership championship kind of.
It's like one of those Davidson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Moreno got the shot, I think it was ranked 4th, and Davidson was cleaning out everyone. And after that first fight, nobody knew they were going to fight 4 times. And each time you could see Brandon kind of closing the gap on him, and so you never know. The 4th fight can be
a different way.
Different.
Yeah.
I'd be very shocked if it did. But let's see. Time will tell. All right, boys, let's keep it moving there. To the 3rd fight on the card here for us, and an absolute fantastic war that we saw between Brian Ortega and Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes at the end getting it done by unanimous decision. So yeah, again, an absolute war going back and forth here. Brian Ortega showing how durable he is, and his chin really holding up, especially towards the end of the fight. Brother Gaia, what did you see here, bro?
Yo, firstly, I'd shout out for one of the fights of the night. Even though of the course of none on the main card, none of the fights in any finishes or any stoppages. So if you have to look at it, for me, I think this fight was very exciting for the entire 15 minutes. It started off with a banger. Guys got close into the void, and then the first thing you know is Diego Lopes cracked him with a wonderful two-punch combo. Overhand right, left hook, and put the Brian Ortega on skates, and like passed him open almost immediately. But what was quite amazing, like we always said, Brian Ortega is one of the most durable guys in the featherweight division. Even the best hoods couldn't put him away. So we kind of knew that he was going to survive it, and then sort of come back, and he did. He did kind of do that. He got back up, and um, he was utilizing the jab, which sort of brought him back into the fight. You could see it was making Diego almost look for rhythm again after that, because he wasn't controlling the pace in Diego Lopes. Brian was actually pushing him forward, but Diego took the legs out of Brian, and that kind of made that Brian couldn't really utilize any of his grappling exchanges because his legs were cooked. So he had to stay striking, which made it a very good fight. And we always knew that Diego had the speed advantage, and we could see that when he did go, he was so much quicker to the punch that it landed on Brian and made Brian. I mean, he had Brian rocked, I think, 2 or 3 times in that fight. Which I think it was a very good win for Diego. For Brian, I just felt that he was, I don't know, he didn't even look bad, bro. I just think he just fought against someone that was hungry and quicker, just as strong as he is. Very exciting fight. Very exciting fight. I just thought that, yeah, like I said, I felt like Brian was just a touch slower. But he wasn't out of it. He made it a spectacle because he always had a chance. His boxing was good. Like he was landing very good jabs, and he had Diego going back. Even like halfway through the first round, and even the second round, I thought it was quite close. I thought Brian might have even gotten that second round. But in the third round, I thought Diego kind of edged the third round just a little bit, because he was able to stuff some of Brian's takedowns. He landed the takedowns of his own, and landed the cleaner shots, the more damaging shots. And I think that was unanimous decision was a well deserved win for him there. I think it was close, but I think Diego Lopes just did enough to put it in his favor.
Definitely agree with that. Yeah. Baba, from your side, bro.
Yeah, I agree with Ross. I think like that first round, I thought Diego Lopes might have like put on the more pressure, but then he took it very cautiously, and then like you said, we knew Brian Ortega was gonna be durable. I mean, we've seen like even when he did get finished by Max Holloway, he took a hell of a lot of punishment, and then
He's still standing, bro.
Even in the Volkanovski's fight, he took damage. And so, like, I didn't expect Diego Lopes to get him out there, but I was shocked by the knockdown. And then, like brother guy said, he just looks a bit slow. And Diego Lopes looked like the hungrier, more like on the attack fighter. And then I was a bit surprised that Ortega didn't try and shoot and implement more jiu-jitsu into the fight, and that Diego Lopes was the one that was really like aggressive in that manner, in like trying to submit him and stuff.
Yeah, I think the leg kicks kind of nullified Ortega's takedown because he had a massive welt on his leading leg.
And it was finished.
Definitely affecting his ability to shoot takedowns. But of course, Diego Lopes also nothing to play with on the ground either way.
Yeah,
but yeah, it would have been nice to see a scramble or two. Jedi, in the preview, you said that Brian Ortega can't allow Diego Lopes to dictate the pace here, and he did exactly that. He didn't push the pace on him, and pretty much played out like you called it. So, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, dude, I think I mean, firstly, congratulations, man. Great fight, tough fight. I think he got a dream start that was like opening like a raffle ticket, and he's like, yo, I got the dream start. Can't believe it. There was something like that. And he took his moment, bro, and he put on a lot of damage in that first round. I think Brian's leg was already jacked up in that first round. So he was on the fence. He was always trying to catch up from like the first 30 seconds of that fight, which was a bit unfortunate. Like, I feel like if he didn't get caught in that first opening minute, it would have been a very different fight. but not taken away from those leg kicks. That leg kicks put
Yeah.
the fight in
Yeah.
Ortega's favor. I'm not Ortega, Lopez's favor a lot, because
Lopes.
it now meant that
Yeah.
he was so compromised also, you know what I mean? Because there was one moment I saw him try to go forward and his leg just didn't allow him
Couldn't do it.
to
Yeah.
do it.
Couldn't stand.
His leg didn't allow him to
Uh,
do it. So I think Lopez got the best start any fighter could wish for, bro. It's like playing PlayStation and you got hooked up. So yeah, hats off to him, man. Hats off to him. I think Brian obviously showed his warrior heart and his survival instincts. You know what I mean? That guy,
Yeah.
tough to put away, and he's just an absolute beast. But he was just unlucky. He just, you know what I mean? He got caught early, and Diego never took the foot off the gas, which was one of the things that we spoke about, because Brian kind of does start a little slow, and Diego does come out like a bat out of hell. So I guess it was in the character bios. It was gonna go like that. So, yeah, bro.
yeah.
Tough team.
True.
Great fight. So for you, Jedi, does Diego Lopez now get a title shot?
Does he get a title shot? What weight is this again? The featherweight? No.
Featherweight, yeah. I don't think so either.
No, not for me. Unfortunately,
So what's next
not.
for him?
Let's pull up the rankings there and let's have a
He
look.
fights
at
Ald-
stock.
No. Yeah, he's still got a
Hey?
long way to go. Yeah, I'm just looking at the ratings. the
No, that's
rankings
gonna
here.
change. That's gonna
Nah.
change. That 13 is gonna change very quickly. It'll be
Yeah, but
out
I'm just
tomorrow.
saying.
Maybe
goes top
like-
I'm
five,
just saying,
isn't it?
if you look at the people, everyone else in the division, man, there are still
Mm.
names that they'll need to get through before
I
fighting for
think
the title.
Calvin
Sure.
Cater and Josh Emmett seems doable, bro. Cater and Emmett.
I don't know.
Okay,
I think
to-
give him Aljo.
No,
Arnold
he's
Allen.
fighting. Aljamain's fighting Evlov. The
Yeah.
decision was,
Evloev.
Yeah.
he's gonna
Okay.
get blanketed.
Then he must get
Russian
Arnold
blanket.
Allen.
Arnold Allen.
You could
Yeah,
give him
no, yeah.
Volkanovski. Volkanovski doesn't have a fight. And
Nah,
I
Volkanovski
think
said he's
on the-
fighting for the belt. No matter
Yeah,
what.
he's
I think
waiting.
on the
Whoever
commentary
wins.
Bro, we
team,
talking about a guy that was 13.
Yeah.
I think on the commentary
number
team, they
13.
said that Lopez is going up into top 5. So he's
Yeah,
going
I'm
to be
sure of
in
that.
around there.
Yeah, he should be.
And then-
because he
Yes.
beat Ortega, yeah. So
Max
yeah,
is
I think
fighting
Arnold Allen.
Topuria. So Arnold Allen, jeez, that's no walk. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. On Allen will be a good fight for him.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Yair Rodriguez even.
Even Yair Rodriguez, but he lost to Brian Ortega, and you know, Diego Lopez just beat Brian Ortega, so I think he
Yeah,
can skip
that's
Yair
also true.
Rodriguez. He can get on an
Sorry,
Allen.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Any final thoughts here before we keep it moving?
I know Brian Ortega was talking about going upper weight, but I don't know when lightweight that he would probably fight next in lightweight. That's the only thing. But he was like touching a little bit on that in this camp and the camp before this. The fight was first scheduled. Brian was sort of loosely talking about fighting someone upper weight, or if not him, it was potentially going to be Aljamain. But now you guys saying Aljamain's got Evloev, so then yeah, I think you can probably see Brian Ortega fighting 155 next.
Yeah,
Would you like to see him fight
I don't think
at
so.
155?
Would I like to see him fight at 155?
Yeah.
That top 15 is stacked.
Paddy Pinglet. Paddy the
Yeah,
Bad.
not Paddy. Benil Dariush maybe.
Benil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think him and
Let's-
Moicano would be like a fight, but Moicano.
Money
hasn't fought.
Moicanto, yeah. But Mukano's got to fight, yeah. So
So I think
Maybe
the
not
loser of
Moicano.
Moicano, Centini. The
yeah.
loser fights Ortega at lightweight if he goes up. Babu, you say not for you?
If Ortega goes up, that top 15 is stacked. And it's a whole bunch of killers there. And
They all
like,
beat him.
I think maybe Dariush doesn't have a
Maybe,
fight,
yeah.
and then Fazeev is coming off that broken leg. but I don't think I wouldn't really want to see Jalen Turner or Paddy Pimblett, but I do think it would be entertaining fights. But I would like to see. I don't think you can compete like in that weight
Yeah, me
class. I
too.
think everybody just hits a bit too hard, and that top 15 just looks well rounded. Like everybody
Yeah.
is able to stuff a takedown. Everybody has decent hands. So, ish.
Yeah, you make him up short.
Arguably the most stacked division
Yeah.
in the entire roster. So yeah, best of luck to him if he does decide to go up to lightweight. But anyway, boys, let's keep it moving then. And this time we saw Daniel Zellhuber coming up against Esteban Ribovics. Esteban Ribovics winning in the end by split decision. This was another absolute dogfight that we saw go down.
Very close.
Yeah, very close fight. Jedi Knight, from your perspective, bro.
Yeah, I think this was also one of the fights of the night. For me, this was actually the fight of the night.
Yeah.
Kind of went down the way I thought. What's his name? The Argentine guy. What's his name again?
Esteban.
Esteban. Esteban obviously comes from a weight above, and he's fighting now in the lightweight. So I always knew he was going to be a bit stronger, and you could see when he was landing punches, the punches was much harder than what Daniel's was. But Daniel's gas tank and his output, I think Daniel had to. I thought the fight was going to go down and Daniel was going to make this a scrappy fight and Esteban was going to be more textbook, but it was actually the other way around. Daniel was trying to fight more textbook and Esteban obviously to try and close that distance because Daniel's so tall. He made it a very dirty kind of scrappy fight and it played to his favor with the power. Split decision, I think, is correct and well done to Esteban. So one guy is definitely going to get. Since Oaks are jumping like 8 positions, I feel like Esteban is going to jump quite high now too.
Yeah, these guys, of course, in the lightweight division, the one we were just talking about now being so stacked. So, yeah, best of luck to them both. Brother Gaia, anything to add here?
Yeah, I think I want to share the same sentiment with Jedi in terms of fight of the night. I know I said Planet Takedown because it was highly exciting. Both these fights were that exciting. Especially this one because it was kicked off like from the first second till the very end. And I think what was most impressive about the fight was how Ribovics was able to navigate the length or reach of Daniel. Because Daniel was using his reach really well. I mean, he was using a lot of deep kicks, a lot of leg kicks. His boxing exchanges was working for him, especially in that first round. And then you could just see Ribovics was just like Jed said, he just said, screw it. I know he's taller than me, but I know I hit harder. Let me just get in there and throw some exchanges. And when they were staying in the pocket, Ribovics was actually landing more cleaner. He was and like Jed was saying, it was carrying a lot more weight to the shots. It was more damaging. And you could see that Daniel didn't like it, but Daniel knew he had to stay in there to actually push the opponent back because Esteban was winning those exchanges. And that's what made the fight really entertaining, that Daniel didn't really actually go backwards. He stood his ground when Esteban didn't come forward. And it didn't really help him out because he got cracked, and he got cracked really hard. Even when Daniel landed in the first round with a very slick elbow and dropped Esteban, it was like Esteban came back up and like, I'm going to get you back, and got Daniel back in the second round. And it was like both guys got their knockdowns. But I just felt that Esteban's knockdown just had worse for wear. It just stayed in Daniel, and it made Daniel a little bit slower to the shots because when they did get into exchanges, he wasn't as sharp as he was in the first round. He was a little bit wide and loopy with his strikes, and I think Esteban was, I don't know, he just looked faster. When they got into the pocket. And I think that's what ultimately made him win the fight. And he looked cleaner when he was throwing his kicks. He always into these combinations with a nice kick to the body or kick to the head, which didn't allow Daniel to sort of set himself or reset the pace again. So which then eventually made Esteban look like he was stepping the fight in his favor, and then got the split decision. I think he won round in 2, and I think it was a deserved win for Esteban. And looking forward to see him in lightweight division. I think it's quite exciting to watch. He just took out Mexican's golden boy, which then should raise the stock of Esteban Ribovics, and I think we can expect to see his name a lot more in the UFC future.
Babu, from your
exciting
side, sir?
fighter.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with the boys. I think this was fight of the night for me as well. I would have loved if this was like a 5 rounder because both of them were solid, and I think it's like like Jada said, split decision was the right call because even like going into the third, I was like, oh, I could see it going both ways because both guys did put like decent damage on each other and they were fairly even. But like I said, Esteban just seemed quicker in the pocket and he was just ending every combination like very well. And I think like when you're judging, that does stick out to you, like how you disengage.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So does Esteban get a ranked opponent next for you, Jedi Knight?
Paddy the Baddy.
Paddy the Baddy? I don't know. Brother Guy, what do you think about
Yo.
that?
I don't know about Paddy the Baddy. Just because I don't think Esteban carries as much weight in terms of a fan base. Fight someone like Paddy the Baddy. I think he moved Paddy the Baddy, to be quite honest. I think that Esteban give Paddy a hell of a time. But he just doesn't have that much of a stock right now for the issue to say, listen, let's give you someone who has that much pull in Paddy the Baddy. You know what I mean? So you might even get someone else. Probably Jalen Turner because he came off a loss. But
I
even
was
Jalen
thinking the
Turner,
same thing.
yeah, he came off a loss. But even Jalen Turner carries a good fan base. And I just feel like the UFC's fan base don't talk about Esteban in the way that I think we should. Dude's hella talented dude. And I think he might climb the ranks for sure. So I think you'll probably see him
Yeah,
fighting
he's
someone like
like
Jalen Turner in the future. What's up, Jed?
he's like Ivleov or the Ramnakat. They don't really speak English, or they're not really doing any media stuff. It's hard to promote a guy who doesn't speak English. You know what I mean? Like, what put him in interviews? What's he gonna do? Okay, let's go. You know what I mean?
Chama.
So it's like, thank you, Dana White.
Yeah, it's
So
true, dude.
that's why I feel like they kind of fly under the radar. You know what I mean? And with guys that make themselves a spectacle, obviously gets special treatment.
That is a bad
Yeah.
emos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he also has a massive fan base for whatever reason. I cannot understand it. But anyway. Boys, we're gonna keep it moving to the final fight of our card here, where we saw Lazy Boy Ronaldo Rodriguez win by unanimous decision against the Jamaican
Yo, what a wild fight.
Osbourne.
Yo, sick fight.
Sick fight
What a
indeed.
wild fight.
Yo.
Yes.
Yeah, Ronaldo Rodriguez really displaying the fighting spirit of the Mexican people, so to say. He was in that triangle, bro, and I was like, how's this bro not sleeping, bro? How's this bro? And then he still like picked him up. But yeah, anyway, let me go to Babu. How did you see this one playing out, bro?
This was enjoyable, bro. I love this fight just because I like when people just throw caution into the wind and they just like let's see what happens. And I feel like this how this fight played out where I was like, oh shit, this man just doing like he's just thinking about things and then trying it straight away. And it didn't seem like there was any like doubt in his head that like, oh, what if I don't land this or what if this happens? And I just found this fight to be like very entertaining. I thought it like I think was this the opener to the main card.
Yeah.
I think like that was a perfect opener, especially like if you just like tuned in for the main card. Like this was like a lovely opener to like a fighting experience. Like we opened this episode with to say like, oh shit, like oh this is what we in for the night. And I think like this set the voice on like, oh shit, like we in for a wild night. And like you said, AD, I don't know how he didn't go to sleep. I really thought like he's gonna pass out, and I was waiting for the tap, and I was like, "How were you not?" It was mind-boggling to me, bro.
Yeah,
It
nah,
was.
to be honest, I didn't think he was gonna tap, bro. I thought he doesn't seem like the kind of bro taps this, bro.
Yeah.
He's more
So
of a go to sleep type of guy. But yeah, brother Gaia, from your perspective.
Yeah. Very exciting. I would love for Ronaldo to be a little bit more protective of himself in fights, not to be so reckless. because damn it, he's absolutely insane, and he put himself in the line of fire, and Osbourne clipped him really
Yeah.
badly in that first round, and then obviously, like you guys are mentioning, the once he landed to the ground, Osbourne was fishing for the submissions and landed a very very tight triangle, but Ronaldo Rodriguez did say coming into the fight that he felt that he was the better wrestler. He felt that he was more slicker on the ground, and I think that's what we saw in this fight. I think after round one, Osbourne kind of looked a bit gassed out. I think there was a bit of adrenaline dump because he went hard in that first round. I think Osbourne really went hard. Like I think he wanted to put Ronaldo out in that first round. Like he wanted to end the fight very quickly, and I think that he got quite surprised once Ronaldo survived it, and then came back because Ronaldo was from after surviving that first round. It was all Ronaldo from there. I think he just kept on putting the pace. The pace. There was times when they did stand and he looked a bit uncomfortable. Osbourne always had the opportunity to clip him because he was the taller fighter, he had more reach, and I think Osbourne is a bit of a better kickboxer as well. But the never say die from Ronaldo, the all aggression, all gas no breaks kind of thing, quickly depleted gas tank of Ode Osbourne. You could see it was taken because once they got to recent exchanges, Osbourne couldn't really get up. He couldn't really get the smaller man off him, and I thought that's just because I felt that adrenaline dump, tired, and Ronaldo was just absolutely relentless. Kept on moving, kept on trying to look for some kind of damage exchanges, look for dominating the fight, and I felt that that's what made him get the unanimous decision. But Osbourne also good name. I thought he wasn't. That bad of a fighter to watch. Very exciting as well. I just thought that the hype maybe have gotten to him, and I don't know. He just looked like he got tired after that first round, and because I was wondering why he couldn't dominate or he couldn't make the wrestling changes a bit more competitive. I thought, why are you on your back so much? And he couldn't really get Ronaldo off him. And I think one of the reasons could be that he maybe had gotten a bit gassed out after trying to finish the fight so quickly in the first round. But very exciting fighters, more so for Ronaldo. I think he's going to be quite the entertaining guy to watch in the future because he's got a good mouth on him in terms of having the mic, and also he comes to fight, man. He comes to put on a show for the guys. But I would want him to be a bit more protective, but more striking competent, you know what I mean, and have good striking defense because he goes in there when he did go forward to try and strike with Osbourne. Osbourne clipped him. Osbourne clipped him every time, and I think he was winding up a lot of his strikes. And I think a more polished striker in this division would put Ronaldo away.
Yeah, I would agree with that, bro. He was in danger quite a few times.
Yes.
Some of the reaction to this fight, there was a bit of controversy surrounding this judges' scorecards. I think it was around not giving a 10-8 round to Ode Osbourne in the first round,
In the first,
and then giving a 10-8 round to Ronaldo Rodriguez in the second round. So
Mm.
some people arguing that this fight should have been a draw. Babu, do you see any validity to that claim, or do you think it was the right decision on the night?
I would say that the Osbourne did look like the fight or the fighter that I thought would have won the fight just because he looked more threatening at ending the fight. But then, like UFC judges, I just don't. I've invested too much energy in complaining about it that I just move it forward now, and I'm like, you know what? The wins and losses don't really matter. Like the public just makes fights happen. So if there's enough outcry for Osbourne to get like a top 15, top 20 challenger, then the UFC just will do it because like the rankings really don't really matter. Like Jedi said, people are climbing like 8 spots off the rip. But I do think that I would have gave it to Osbourne as the winner. But
yeah, I mean you're not alone there. I have heard like I said, I was watching some of the reaction to the event, and some people did have it for Osbourne. Some people call it a draw. Of course, the one that matters, the judges saying Ronaldo Rodriguez was well done enough on the night there. Any final thoughts here, boys?
Exciting fighters. Like I said, both these guys are very exciting fighters, and I think we're going to see a lot more of UFC catering to Ronaldo.
Yeah, Jedi.
Yeah, I thought it was a great fight. I thought it was a very fun fight to start the main card with. OD Osbourne, I feel like, was fighting for his career because he's almost on the way out. In my opinion, he's good. He just comes up short somehow, bro. And I feel kind of sorry for him because he's a talented guy, but he just unfortunately gets these losses. You know what I mean? I think he was sub 3 times in a row, and now he lost this one. So
Yeah, unlucky.
unfortunately, but yeah, Ronaldo. It looks like he's gonna be around for a while. Looks like a fun guy. So yeah,
That's I laughing.
It's the baby side. Okay.
UFC
anyway-
Noche.
Yeah, okay, so just one more, boys. Brother Gaia, as quickly as you can, please just give us a quick rundown of Irene Aldana versus Norma.
I'm a bit disappointed in this fight, to be honest. Not the fight. Disappointed in Aldana. Let's put it that way. I expected her to sort of show up a bit, have a bit more tools to her game, especially because I haven't fight for the title. Was fought for the title previously, so she's been in the ring with the best in Amanda Nunes. I thought maybe she have learned from that fight, but coming to this one, she didn't change anything. She still predominantly relied on her boxing and not anything else. And she didn't get any distance management correctly. And I thought that was a bit of an issue because, yeah, she couldn't land any of her strikes cleanly. I think when she was trying to land strikes, she was utilizing this lunging left hook to the opponent that was circling away from her left hand, and it was just missing all the time, and she didn't change anything up from that. But because she didn't have any kicks to her arsenal, she couldn't stop the movement of Norma Dumont. And now Norma Dumont's side fought absolutely a flawless fight from my point of view. She got clipped with that elbow, which kind of made her a bit distracted, which I think was around 2. And other than that, I think that Norma Dumont just fought a very, very fantastic fight, very reminiscent of Natalia Silva versus Jessica Andrade. Very similar,
100%.
similar kind of fight. Norma just better kickboxer, using more tools of the game, more strikes, more kicks, more everything else. And I think it just worked in her favor. Another big thing that she did quite well in the fight was one of the reasons why Aldana couldn't really get off on this fight is when she did come and close the gap. Every single time Aldana came forward, Norma threw something at her, whether it was a spin kick, a jab, uppercut, or some kind of hook. It basically stopped Aldana every single time. And for that, I thought it was unanimous, and I thought it was a very good performance from Norma. And I think she now climbs the rank and go for number 8, definitely in the top 5 of the women's bantamweight division. As for Aldana, I was disappointed. I expected a lot more from her. But that's what the other game goes. If you don't evolve, someone else is going to be there and be better. And yeah, Norma showed it. She had more skills, and yeah, that's why she won the fight.
Absolutely. Babu, anything you want to add here?
No, I think I share the same sentiment as Ross. I thought Reina Aldana would have showcased a bit more, and like I was just let down in like what was presented, and maybe I'm a bit like what's the word? Forecasting. But I think like she's on her way out. I think she like I don't think the UFC is gonna put more stock into her just because like they've given her the platform to showcase, and she hasn't really showcased anything that makes us want to buy more stock into her.
Jedi Knight, any thoughts there?
Unmute me, my bro.
Because Brad just spoke now. You just unmuted yourself, bruh. He unmuted himself to say unmute me.
Unmute me. Did I want to say no? Yeah, Brazil. How can you ever go against Brazil?
Never ever. Unless it's Diego.
Yeah, shame. I think Aldana just came up short, bro. She got pieced up, and sometimes it goes like that. Sometimes you have an off night.
I was very surprised to see Dumont didn't do any wrestling, but not necessary on the night.
Doesn't have to.
Yeah, she got it done, and like you said, very reminiscent of that Natalia Silva performance that we saw a few weeks ago. All right, boys, that pretty much covers it from us today. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up here, gentlemen?
I think overall, just a great show for the UFC part. I mean, they spent $20 million+, and yeah, I thought that they did quite well. I thought the show lived up to its hype that they were trying to do. I mean, build up for
Yeah.
us. And I think the
Bro,
fights also, even though it was unanimous decision, most of the fights I think they were all quite entertaining to watch. And yeah, I think it was a good show overall.
Jedi?
how are we gonna have an event anywhere else now, bro? They have to have they have to build spheres all over the place.
Yo, but like 20 million plus, bro. That's just for the event, not even to build the
Crazy.
sphere. It's a lot more to build the
They have
sphere.
to build spheres all over. Or they have to now have like tune in live, and the fight is not in the sphere, but you just come in to watch it on screens in your
Oh,
it's mad, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it is
mad.
insane.
When are we gonna see it
Yeah.
again?
Hopefully never, bro. I personally, not to be a pessimist here, bro, but I didn't think it added. I didn't think it was worth the money that they spent, bro.
Maybe for the people at
Yeah.
home, yeah. People at
Yeah,
home, it
because
Yeah.
didn't
yeah,
change anything for the
it
people at
didn't
home.
make the fights any better. It didn't, it
Yeah.
didn't add anything to what we came to watch. You know what I mean?
I will say this
For
also.
me,
I felt that having half the one side crowd and other half screens
yeah,
didn't impact some of the fight as well, because there was almost no cheering. There's like the Oaks
yeah.
weren't cheering for anything, and it made the fighters look like, yo, what's going on? Like, usually
They
because
only,
if the crowd is like, right around the fighters, you can expect them to be a
Yeah.
crowd kind of cheer consistently throughout the
Yeah.
event. There's never like a
Yeah.
lull
Ooh,
moment, and in this crowd it was really lull.
yeah,
it looked like theater.
It looked like
yeah.
theater,
It looked
yes.
like an
mm.
amphitheater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Theater.
Babu, last word goes to you, sir.
No, I think like the whole experience was I agree with you, AD. Like the way it looked, it was like okay, but I think for me, it was more of like I would love to be there to experience
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that is what draws me in, and that gives me
Yeah.
hope. Like, I think like most people felt that way, and like if the UFC does do it again, like they should like open up a bit more space so that they can get more people in there. But I think like the card overall decent. Stick with what I said, solid 6, and I hope to see something better from the UFC next time, man.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. But anyway, boys, we are just under an hour, so we should get out of here as quickly as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached 500 subscribers, so thank you all so much. So much. Big up yourselves. There we go. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, we're looking forward to covering the next one for you
Yep.
guys. From myself, Brother Gaia, Brother Babu, and of course, George Jefferson. Thank you so much once again for the support. We're out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.